1. I'm working night audit, and this guest, G, calls at 11 p.m. Hotel, this is Dreamer Lady. How can I help you?
I need to cancel. I won't be able to make it.
Okay, sir. Sorry to hear that. What's the name? He gives it. Let me look up the reservation. One moment. Okay. Oh, for tonight. I'm sorry, sir, but our cancellation policy is that we require 24 hours advance notice. And that is passed. There will be a charge of room and tax for one night, the length of his stay.
But on the website, it says I have until 12.
I'm sorry, but that's incorrect. I wasn't thinking clearly on this as I'd recently returned to work from being hospitalized and was still a little off my game. And in hindsight, it was obviously that morning, not an hour.
I'm looking at the cancellation policy on the website right now. I have until 12.
I noticed that he booked through a third party. Sir, what website?
Third-party company.
Well, that may be their policy, but the hotel policy is 24 hours notice.
But I'm looking at it and it says I can cancel.
I'm sorry, sir, but their policy is not our policy.
That's not fair. You should follow theirs. You work with them, so your policy should match theirs.
No, sir. They're a third-party company, and they do not set our policy.
That's wrong. They shouldn't have policies that are different. Who can I dispute this with?
I suppose you could call a third-party company regarding their policy and discuss the grievance with them. At this point, nice guest NG has come to the desk and is waiting patiently.
Not with you?
You could, but unless there are extenuating circumstances, our policy won't make exceptions. What is the reason you cannot make it?
I've been driving and I'm in a city 24 miles away.
Then I'm sorry, sir, but there will be a charge per the hotel cancellation policy.
But I won't make it there before 12.
Oh, no, you don't have to. Your reservation is from check-in on arrival date and check-out on departure date. You can check in at any time during that period.
I can't get there. Is there a manager I can talk to?
I'm the manager on duty, sir. Truth, since I'm the night auditor and the only one on site.
If you're the manager, you should be able to just waive the charges.
No, sir, I cannot do that. NG whispers to me, "Breathe, honey, you got this."
Yes, you can. You can override the policy and not charge me, and you should go with what the website says.
Sir, that is a third-party company. It doesn't matter what you say it says. That is not our policy. We need 24 hours notice, which we are past. I cannot go against the company policy, even though I am the manager.
You could if you really were the manager. I want to speak with someone else.
I am the only staff on site. I have to briefly answer another call and place that on hold, so I can keep talking to G.
You're the only one there? I can't believe you won't help me.
As I said, I cannot. The cancellation policy requires 24 hours notice.
But I'm looking at the website right now and it says I have until 12.
I'm frustrated but maintaining customer service mask. Sir, I do not care what a third-party company says. They do not dictate the hotel's policies. You will be charged for tonight. Breathe.
Am I paying you or am I paying them?
You are paying us.
But I booked through them, so I'm paying them.
No, sir, you made the reservation through them but are paying us.
No, that's not right. I booked through them, so you should follow their policy.
Through them, yes, they made the reservation for you, but you are paying us. Our policy is in effect.
But I did it through them, and I'm looking at their website. I have until 12.
More than done with this loop. The other call hung up, and I need to get to NG. I cannot help you in the manner that you are asking. Is there anything else I can help you with? Just breathe.
You can help and not charge me. I called before 12.
Sir, as I have...
I'm looking at the website.
Sir, as I was saying, and I have repeatedly stated, the company policy is 24 hours advance notice. It does not matter what a third-party company that is not a part of our corporation may say on their website. We are not responsible for third parties if...
But the website...
I don't care what that says. It's wrong. If you wish to dispute what you are reading, you can call a third-party company. If you wish to dispute our policy, you are welcome to speak to another manager during the day. However, per policy, it is very unlikely that they will waive the charges, especially since he is not an honors member. As I cannot help you in the way you want, we are at an impasse. Since there is nothing else you want help with, I am ending this call.
You're just not going to help me then? Not be helpful at all?
Not how you want, no. As I said, I am ending the call.
What was your name again?
Dreamer lady, have a good night, sir. Bye. I finally released the call. It's okay, you did good. Take a moment and breathe. I smiled and did take a moment before helping her, apologizing for the wait. She was super sweet. I remembered the room that called, and I returned their call, and luckily they were also really nice about the wait. I did have to go out and smoke, though, to calm down. After I made a case with guest assistants, they made a note in our incident log. I know that I shouldn't have let it go that long, but I've gotten in trouble for not being nice enough or being rude, even though this sort of wording and tone are my default to guests. I also tend to be far more tolerant of shitty people than is healthy. I did try really hard to keep it simple, and even though it ran on too long, and I forgot the date-time bit, I'm fairly proud of how I handled it. I didn't allow my frustration to affect how I spoke with him or handled it. 2. Okay, so we are not a pet-friendly hotel. We are usually very strict with this rule. Our front desk manager let this couple bring their pet into the hotel due to the storm we were getting hit with, Hurricane Dorian. He didn't want to send them off to find another hotel in the mess. I'm located in Charleston, SC, where if you spit in the streets it floods. Also, we are under mandatory evacuation because the eye of the storm was only 60 minutes off our coast. The hotel is along the coast. Safe to say we got hit. Back to the story. They were fully aware that we were not a pet hotel, and were doing them a courtesy. This couple comes down to the desk my first morning back after the storm. Insert facepalm. Conversation goes as follows. DC equals dog people. Hi, we're wondering if it would be okay to leave our dog in the room while we go around town. I'm sorry, a dog? Oh, yes, sorry, your manager, George, John, Bob, let us bring our pet in due to the circumstances of the storm. Oh, I see. Well, does he have a crate and kennel? Oh, no, he doesn't. Okay. Well, can you put him in the bathroom? Because worst case scenario, the most he could do is tear up the shower curtain, if there is one. Most of our rooms have walk-in showers with glass doors. Oh god, no, he doesn't do well with small spaces. Okay, well, given the circumstances, I don't think it's the best idea to leave your large dog alone in a hotel room that he's not familiar with, uncrated and roaming freely, unattended. Well, what are we supposed to do? What do you do when people leave their animals in the rooms to have to go to breakfast in the restaurant? We're not a pet-friendly hotel, so we don't have that issue. But if there's an animal in this hotel, it is a service animal. And service animals go everywhere with their owners. So I don't know what you want me to do about your situation. I don't know how to handle it because I've never had to handle it. You cannot leave the dog alone in the room and risk it tearing things up or worse. Well, you're not very accommodating. Well, we were accommodating enough to let you bring your pet into our non-pet-friendly hotel. If anything else happens to the room and we find you left it unattended against my advice, there will be a $250 fee along with charges to whatever damage there may be. This is absurd. I can't believe you. You refuse to help us. They then walk away talking crap about me. I'm sorry, but we were nice enough to let you bring your pet. I offered you alternatives, like if he had a crate, or if you could leave him in the bathroom. You want to let your large dog have free roam of a strange place and leave him alone? We already gave you the inch and let you bring him. We can't give you a mile and hundreds of dollars in potential damages. Housekeeping is already going to have to put the room out of order to deep clean, just because he's in there to begin with. And we're doing that free of charge. What more do you want? Just in case people don't understand, let me clarify. We made them sign a waiver agreeing to the $250 cleaning fee that we make even people with service animals sign if it is needed. Not a made-up rule. The waiver also states that the animal cannot be left alone. They were not escaping a hurricane because they came here while we were under mandatory evacuation, because the hurricane all but hit us directly. The eye of the hurricane was 60 miles from the coast, which the hotel sits on. They stated they were here for vacation. 3. July of 1994. I'm working my usual third shift night audit at a small mom-and-pop hotel on I-75. It was 160 rooms, 2 stories, 4 buildings, with the front office and breakfast area as the 5th building, and a shed at the 6th, not a large property. Our usual clients were weary travelers looking to get off the road for a hot shower and comfy beds. Locals who would rent rooms fell into one of 3 areas. 1. Spouse fight. 2. Adult entertainment. 3. House fire and flood, waiting for insurance adjusters. The point being, it wasn't unusual to have locals rent a room for the night. So around 10:30 p.m., 2 cars pull into the lot, and 2 men come into the lobby and need a room for the night. I give them a rate. One gentleman passed over his credit card and ID. The second gentleman cannot contain his excitement as he is looking out at a brand new red 1995 Chevy Camaro. So brand new, the seats still had plastic on them. The first man told his friend to hush. They get their key and park in front of their room, each grabbing a bag from the second car. Their room was straight across from the office, which had an all-glass front giving easy unobstructed view to the parking lot. Important to know for later. All is quiet and well in our world. Until 1:30 a.m. As I was putting the final touches to the end-of-day paperwork, I hear a woman screaming and glass shattering. Such colorful language coming from a woman about 5'5", 130 pounds, and wielding a bat. She hoisted the bat over her head and slammed it down onto the hood of the now formerly beautiful car, all the while screaming about her "no good cheating husband." More colorful words, more glass breaking. I had police dispatch on the line, and as this was a small town, in less than 3 minutes, my parking lot was washed in red and blue lights. Police had a little challenge getting the lady to put the bat down and getting the handcuffs on her, but soon she was in the back of the cruiser. I stepped out of the office just as the husband and friend came out of their room, IDs in hand. As the police gathered the information, a very sweet story emerged. Husband had received a huge bonus from work and wanted to reward wife for all her sacrifices while he was away. Wife's car was breaking down, so he used his bonus to buy her a brand new car with every bell and whistle available. It was a surprise. He had his friend go with him to Atlanta to pick it up, save the delivery charge, and lower the price a bit. They drove back but wanted to give it to her in the morning so she could see it in the light of day. He had even put a huge bow on it. Since the wife thought husband and friend were on an overnight fishing trip, they got a room and planned on setting everything in place early in the morning. They set a 5 a.m. wake-up call with me. Wife and friend's wife were at a local bar just over the bridge, and on their way home, saw husband's truck at the hotel. They pulled in, looked in the windows of the brand new red car, and saw husband's jacket on the seat. And she knew he was cheating on her. Hence the bat attack. Husband goes to the glove box, pulls out the registration, bill of sale paperwork, and hands it to an officer. He walks over to the wife and shows her the name on said paperwork. She destroyed her gift. 4. So this evening, I got into work, and shortly after arriving, I talked to a guy who needed his card rescanned. I looked him up in our system. He wasn't on the in-house list. I checked the arrivals, and there he was. Someone who worked before me tonight hadn't checked him in for whatever reason, even though his registration card was in the little file system, signed and everything. I thought that was kind of odd, but didn't think too much of it, and the guy before me had already left for the evening right then. About a half hour later, another guy comes in and checks in. I give him his keys and have him sign, sending him to the 4th floor, room 47. A few minutes later, he comes down. The little door jamb was set so he could only open it a couple inches. I thought that was odd. Suddenly I get an inkling that someone else is in his room. He suggested moving him to a different room. I did so after calling the room to see if anyone was in it. I didn't get an answer, but ended up moving him to a different room anyway. A couple minutes later, I get a call from a lady. Front desk.
Did you just call me?
Is this 47?
Yeah?
Yeah, I did, to make sure somebody was in the room.
Yes, I am.
Okay, what is your name? At this time, I'm looking her up on the in-house list. She gives me one. I look it up and can't find it. Is there any other name it could be under?
My boss's name.
Guy who hadn't checked in earlier. Oh, okay.
Listen, my boss is on the bus and I'm supposed to be asleep, but you had to rudely wake me up. Goodbye.
So she hung up. I thought that was the end of it. Though what she said was confusing. The next 3 hours weren't too monumental. Getting a Korean guy's key rescanned when he didn't know enough English to understand that I was asking for his last name. Dealing with some kid who was tipping the glass water jug over. The kid then asked me to clean up his trash upstairs by the coffee machine, when he could have walked literally 2 feet to the trash can. Spilling water from that glass water jug just because said kid hadn't turned off the faucet on it when it refilled. Yeah. Then I saw a woman walking down the stairs with an unlit cigarette in her mouth. Good evening.
How long are you working?
Until 6 a.m.
How long have you been here?
Since 10 p.m., so about 3 hours.
Did you send somebody up to my room?
You're in 4-7?
Yeah, that's me. You woke me up with a phone call. You also didn't give me the wake-up call that I asked for.
Then she rushed off before I could even give an explanation. It left me rather annoyed and confused. To be honest, the person who owes me an explanation is whoever gave her the room keys to 4-7 and didn't check her boss into the system. I'm thinking they're connected in that somebody almost checked the boss in, didn't for some reason, and accidentally gave her the keys to the wrong room. Something similar has happened before, a couple weeks ago in fact. I think it was the same guy who had worked before me that night too, so admittedly, she did have a pretty good reason to be cranky. But I do wish she would have at least heard my part of the story to know that it wasn't really my fault. 5. This happened less than 20 minutes ago, and I'm absolutely fuming from this. At our hotel, we are fairly laid back, and rules are something we will sometimes bend if a person is respectful about the situation. In this case, I lost my cool, due to the sheer amount of disrespect that was shown to me. We start breakfast at 6 a.m. on the dot. How the hotel is set up. I move the coffee and hot water into the breakfast area between 5 to 5:30 a.m. This means that I will leave one of the doors open to allow people to grab coffee, but not breakfast, since it is not open to grab food until 6. Normally, this is not a problem, and while disappointed, people understand I have a set of rules to follow. Every now and then, I'll let people get their food if they're checking out or have early work. Cue our current guests and some of our only ones due to off-season starting. He goes in to grab coffee with his work buddy and then turns to breakfast. "Sir, the breakfast isn't open yet?" To which I get a response along the lines of, "So what? I have to work soon, deal with it." I thought I must be hearing things, because that tone of voice combined with him completely disrespecting what I'd said made me get up, go to the breakfast area and confront him with, "Sir, as I said, breakfast does not start until 6. He ignores me, grabs a few sausage patties and some juice before walking past me. I try to say, "Excuse me," but he continues to walk away, stating, "Look, I gotta work at 5:30 or so every morning. And we bring a lot of business to your hotel. I don't think you want to ruin that over a couple of sausage patties." My response is along the lines of, "I understand that, but I do have a set of rules that I can't break without GM permission." This is technically true, although we all have moments where we let the rules slide for moments just like this. He responds as he nears his room, "Well, you go ahead and talk to your GM, and I'll talk to him later too. You seem to be the only one who has a problem with this, and I'm walking back to my room and you're the one continuing this." At this point I say nothing, as he goes into the room. Needless to say, I plan on talking to my GM and the AGM about this. It isn't that he broke the rules or even that he got breakfast. He completely disrespected me, showed no sort of understanding, and even had the nerve to threaten me by leaving, so yeah. One of two things will be happening. He gets kicked out due to the disrespect, or I change up my tactics to locking up the breakfast area and moving coffee there only at 6, since he believes himself more important than everyone else. Update. I just ran my departures, and guess who also happens to be checking out today? So this was all unnecessary, to say the least. What's with people sometimes? Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Coahw number 26. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories and sent in stories for use in this video. I swear it's getting harder and harder to talk. I've been recording for... I've lost track of the amount of time. I've been recording for certainly over a week now, but we're getting there, getting towards the end. I'm hoping to be done today. It's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday the 11th. I'm hoping to be done today, so that I can do some serious toe wiggling tomorrow. And if the weather's okay, possibly go out and, buy groceries. And certainly no rubbish. No siree. Very healthy freezer. Okay, with that I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.